Pardon my last video, folks. Little mishap with the recording, but as I was saying, with the cluster, you could see that this is just one solid piece. There's no recess. Like when I have to clean my gauges in my Camry, I have to like get in there with a microfiber or a paintbrush or something. Whereas this is just, it's super simple. It's just one swipe and you're clean. Another little weird thing about this is the rear view mirror. It's edge to edge, which I think is pretty cool because you know, it's kind of like futuristic, elegant at the same time, and I just really like how it's like edge to edge. I wish that the Camry had that. You know, looking at it from here, passenger side, it's, you know, you don't really have much going on with the passenger side. It's this car's, you know, not really. It's a really good as far as like fun factor, driving, and like wow factor for the driver. But you know, when you get to the sides and back, I mean, you have the climate seats here, and you do have the heated seats in the rear. But you know, it's just a little simple looking. And same thing with the center console. It's everything here is just, it's very, you know, simple looking. I would have liked to see more like this gloss. I would have liked to see more of that gloss down here. This is kind of weird. Whatever this is, I don't know what Toyota was thinking with this like oh shit handle that they have here. But you know, sometimes I want to put shit in there, and between the shifter and these, you can't really fit anything. Toyota could have done without having this swoop. So if you want to put like a book or something in there, you can, because this, like, it's really awkward putting stuff in here. And especially, this is one of the most awkward parts about the whole thing. Your Qi charger is like way down there. So, I mean, not that you should be texting and driving at all, but if your phone is like charging down there, I mean, you gotta like fiddle and like get it down, and you can't even, like, on the Camry, it's on this drawer, so you could see like if somebody sends you a text or if you get an email and you know it's not important. But down here, it's like you gotta like, okay, like check down there, and it's like a really awkward spot, really awkward with these, and just really awkward for that. Kind of like weird what they did with the cup holders, because they got like a round one here and then they have like a flat one here, which this is actually, if I put my phone, it's like, it's perfect to put a phone or a device like right there. That's where I put it. I never even use the charger, and to be honest, I don't even use it in my Camry either. The Toyota did such a bad job with how the Qi charger works, the wireless charging. It constantly moves. I mean, the only thing that it's good for is if you're parked and you're using it. If you don't have a cord, which I always have a cord, but if you don't have a cord, you can't really drive around with it charging. The phone just moves around way too much. And it would have been nice if they made something that was either like a clamp on springs that you have to like separate. You put your phone in it and then you let go, and then it like clamps on it. Just like something that, you know, the universal vents and shit. Just because it, on both cars, they really, it's constantly charge, uncharge, charge, uncharge, charge. And I don't even use it. The only time I'll use it is if I'm in a bind, if I can't use this cord, if someone else is using it, and I'm parked. And it's like, still, it's like you're just, it's kind of awkward. You're just sitting there waiting for it to charge. But that's that. It's got sport pedals, you know, cool. Nothing crazy. I had to put them in my Camry. My Camry just had regular pedals. This is the biggest load of horse shit ever. Let me tell you, the Sport and Sport Plus, I noticed absolutely no difference whatsoever in the driving and handling. To be honest, with the Camry, if I put it in Eco, Normal, and Sport, you feel the difference. You feel the the more aggressive shifts with sport, and you get the more comfort with the normal, and then you're gonna get the less strain on the trans, and with the shifting and everything like that in eco. So it's noticeable when you have it in eco. You notice it when it's normal. You notice in sport. I put them in all three. To be completely honest, I noticed no difference in all of them. It has a Sport Plus, which the Camry doesn't have. I did Sport and Sport Plus, and I did a couple 0 to 60s, and I did some 55, accelerations, where I'll be going 55, and I pin it. No difference. I mean, this is all a load of horse shit, I have to say. I don't really know what they could do to improve on that, but I notice absolutely no difference. The only difference I really notice is if I go from Eco to Sport Plus. I get a little bit more of an aggressive shift, but I mean, if you baby it in Sport Plus, you're gonna get like a gallon, or maybe 2 gallons more per mile, miles per gallon than Eco. But this is like the biggest load of horse shit in the Avalon, I think. I don't really notice any difference. And it's an Avalon. It's not really like... It's not really a sport, a sport. It's more of like a low and slow comfort car. It's not really made to take off. This thing is so big. I joke around. I call it the ferry because it's a big white car. It's just heavy. And, it's not really meant to be driven fast. Same thing with these paddle shifters. I mean... It's okay, but they could have done without it, honestly, or just improved on like the gear ratio or something, just to give me, or give me a little bit more airflow rate in combustion on the Sport Plus. But that's enough of that. This is noticeably bigger than the Camry, and it's really nice. I like it. I like how it's gloss. It has like that gloss to it. And just to show you, it's kind of weird. I don't know if it's with all cars, but you could actually... You hear that? It's kind of weird, but I don't know if all climate seats do that. It's kind of loud. Like, you could hear the fans like screaming in this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fucking nice on a hot day having the cooled seats, but the motor in it, you could just hear it. It's kind of loud. Whereas, see, that's off. Now it's really quiet. But you don't hear anything with the heated seats. I mean, that's with any car. If you hear something with the heated seats, something's wrong. Couple cool things that I discovered with this is you can actually go into your menu. You can go to Setup, Vehicle, Drive Mode Customization, and you can actually you could change your climate settings to Eco or Normal. You could change your chassis to Sport and Normal, and you could change your powertrain to Power, Normal, and Eco. And like I said before, with this, I notice absolutely no difference. I just keep it in Power and Sport, just because, like I said, the car's so heavy, it's so big, I want to get as much movement as possible. If I do decide that I want to start moving in this thing, but I didn't get this thing to race. This thing is to get me from A to B comfortably. Another I have to say, a cool thing that I really like, I didn't even notice this. I had the car for 3 weeks, and I didn't even notice that it could do it. So you say you start the car. That's cool. I like how it did that with the rings. But the Camry has a similar introduction to it anyways. You notice, check this out. Let me explain how this works. So I normally keep my mirrors in the middle. So when I back up, nothing changes, right? But, however, if you take this and you leave it in the right, watch what happens. I put it in reverse, and the mirror actually goes down, which is really cool. You can't really, like, this is where my head is. So if I'm backing up, I can actually see, like, you know, where I'm at. And then when you put it in park, it comes up. I didn't even notice that. It took me 3 weeks to notice that. But I was backing up and I was looking over. I was like, holy shit, that's actually pretty cool. But I think that they kind of incorporated that due to the fact that when I back up, oh, well, I have my trunk open, so it's different. But you have the two modes here. You have the pano and then the straightforward. Whereas my Camry, I put it in reverse. Half the screen is a bird's eye and half the screen is what I'm actually seeing in the back. So that's that. Let me shut it off. And again, you shut it off, steering wheel moves up, the seat moves back, you can get out. I was really upset that it did not come with a panel roof. That really hurt my feelings. You know, especially with the money that you're paying. I don't know if it had to do with the structural integrity of the car, the simple fact that the car is just a much larger car than the Camry. But, you know, it's just, you know, it would have been so much better if this had a full panel roof. But it would have taken, you know, a lot of engineering and everything like that with the sheer size. It's almost like there's this little body line right here. It's like that is what the normal Camry is. And I don't know if they could have fit a panel roof just because this is so wide. So this is the back. And again, you know, you have the gloss. See, oh, another thing I forgot to point out. It's kind of weird. The Camry came stock with, Jesus, what are they? 6x9s, 6.5s. I can't remember off the top of my head. Which actually, I can't believe I can't remember. With just this. So in the Camry, when you're listening to the sound system, there's a whole lot going on in the front, but when you get in the back, it's like there's no range to it whatsoever. Whereas this, you actually have the bass down here, and you have a tweeter up here. So in the Avalon, you're gonna get way more range in the back seat, and just overall, like, better sound system that they did. It's a shame. They really should have put tweeters in the doors in the back of the Camry, but I mean, as you know with my videos, I completely revamped the sound system. But good job with that. And I didn't even notice this till about 2 weeks after I got the car. You have speakers right up here. So you're gonna get way more dynamic, full range speakers, sound system going on in the Avalon. Whereas the Camry, it's just, they really didn't do a good job with the sound system at all. Again, I love the gloss here. You got the 2 USB ports, which is nice. The Camry, it doesn't have the USB ports here. You actually have to put it in the center console and run it back. So if you're sitting in the back seat, you know, but whereas this is more convenient. And then you have the heated seats as well. So this is a lot more nice. I am sitting, I have this seat all the way back. So the driver's seat is all the way back. And I have, like, my knees aren't even touching it. And I'm 5'9", so, like, you have substantially more legroom here. And also, they have, if you notice, the headliner, it actually swoops up. So you have another inch or two as far as headspace in the back of this. Whereas my Camry, you sit in the back, you're way more congested. So, I mean, anybody buying an Avalon is going to know that there's way more room in here than the Camry.